Now this is definitely a video that every prepper has to see. Despite how many F words this guy says, his message is phenomenal. It's shocking. See, somebody's right and somebody is wrong. You know what I'm saying? In other words, this guy doesn't think that the government's going after preppers first. This guy over here claims to have inside information that they actually are. Day one. In other words, let's say they stage a fake rapture. You hear blaring horns in the atmosphere and the power grid just goes down. Your cell phone doesn't work. All communications are down. You're wondering, what's going on? Well, the person that knows what's going on, he's going to get home as fast as he can. Most people, they're not going to know what's going on. So let's say the power grid's down for 14 to 17, 18 days. Now think about after 3 days what the grocery stores would look like. Think about after like 7 days, people still haven't showered. Their water doesn't work. They're looking for swimming pools to go jump into so that they can at least wash themselves. Think about how many swimming pools are going to get raided. They're going to take buckets and be putting their buckets in people's backyard swimming pools to try to get water so that they can sustain their lives. You have to understand, if you haven't already crossed that line, don't cross that line. How to be a secret prepper. If you can be a secret prepper and buy things with cash, do it now. See, a dum-dum would go into Sam's Club and buy, let's say he buys $6,000 worth of this long-term shelf life food. And he thinks he's actually going to get away with it. He thinks he's going to put all that down in his basement, and if there's some big disaster, him and his family's going to be okay. He actually thinks he's going to get away with it. Well, guess what? When he purchases that and puts it on a credit card, he's on a special list. Do you all understand why these cards exist? These shoppers cards, these speedway cards, all these discount cards. Do you know why they exist? So that they can track and record what you purchase with cash. That's why they exist. I feel sorry for the preppers that don't understand. The government is recording everything you do. All the websites you visited, your cell phone conversations, it could all be recorded on these massive underground data facilities. So that when it comes time for you to get a chip in your hand, and let's say you're not showing up, well, they can go back and profile everything you've done, everywhere you've gone. There's some secret camping area that you've gone to, they can track where you've gone in the last 10, 20 years because of your cell phones. A simple question to ask: who is the biggest threat to the New World Order? Is it a bunch of thugs and looters and murderers and all that? Well, since they're going to destroy every major city anyway, since their goal is to depopulate the earth anyway, the biggest threat to the New World Order is an intelligent prepper that's got over 10 years worth of food stored up, plenty of ammo. He doesn't need electricity to survive. He's figured out how to take nasty swamp water and purify it. He is the biggest threat to the New World Order. So who do you really think they're going to go after first? I know who I would go after first if I was the New World Order. I would go after the preppers. I don't really consider a guy that's got 6 months worth of food stored up, I don't really consider him much of a threat because eventually he's going to run out. I consider the guy that's got 10, 12 years worth of food stored up for him and his family. He is a threat. He's a problem. He needs to go first. So I absolutely believe this guy's telling the truth. It's real simple. If it's not too late, you have to become a secret prepper. Only buy things with cash. Don't ever use these kind of cards. If this card is linked to your name and your address and you're buying hundreds and hundreds of canned food, you just keep storing up on these canned foods, you're filling your basement with tons of canned foods, dude, you're probably going to be on a special list. Don't use these kind of cards. And don't ever buy long-term shelf life food unless you have an scapegoat partner. Imagine someone that you work with, that you funnel him the money, he buys thousands, like 20 years worth of all this long shelf life food, so that he's on a hot list. When all hell breaks loose, he can come live in your basement with all the food and no one ever knows. because he's not in your cell phone contact list. He's not friends with you on Facebook. He's just some guy at work. Just make sure he throws his cell phone in the garbage when he comes and stays at your residence or your secret camping location, whatever brilliant idea you have. Make sure you have not contaminated that area with any cell phones or GPS. I'm also convinced they're not going after the major gun owners. Imagine some guy that's got 114 guns, but he has like 10 days worth of food. Dude, what threat is he to the New World Order? Because guess what? He's going to run out of food. He's going to be in a situation where he's going to be standing in line, a long line, going to the FEMA camp for help because of the desperate situation. Him and his family are starving. He's going to be standing in line, and if he has to give up his guns, what does it matter? What does it matter if you're going to starve to death? Sure, here, take all my guns, whatever. It's the guy that's got all the years and years of food stored up that is the biggest threat, the biggest problem. So I absolutely believe this guy is right. And this poor guy, he doesn't realize it, but they're going to be coming after him most likely on day one.